You know that scene at the end of Revenge of the Sith when Obi-Wan heartbreakingly yells to Anakin, "You were the chosen one"? Past tense? Let's talk about that. This past weekend's episode of Star Wars Rebels dropped somewhat of a major bomb within the Star Wars universe, revealing that Obi-Wan Kenobi now believes Luke Skywalker to officially be the Chosen One. And this could obviously bring up a handful of points of discussion. A couple that jump out to me in particular is the idea that Anakin didn't end up fulfilling anything by killing Palpatine at the end of Return of the Jedi if he was no longer the Chosen One. It also means that the idea of being the Chosen One is not something that necessarily follows you from your birth to the point when you die, but rather is something that you can be for a little bit and then eventually not be the Chosen One anymore. Maybe if you like murder a bunch of kids and join the dark side of the Force and blow up planets. I don't know, I'm just throwing out ideas. And I think that when you look at where the Star Wars films currently stand, it sort of begs the question, is Luke still the Chosen One? Or is this great role that they believe eventually will be fulfilled by the Chosen One eventually be pulled off by somebody like Rey or Finn or Dark Horse candidate Poe Dameron? There's a little bit of evidence, or in some cases a lot more evidence, in all of those three directions that could indicate that one of them could indeed be that Chosen One. But it also makes you wonder, who exactly determines who this Chosen One is? And that reason to me is yet another reason to pile on to why I'm not necessarily a fan of this entire concept of the Chosen One in the entire Star Wars universe. Around a year ago, I did a video outlining all the reasons why I thought this entire Jedi prophecy didn't make any sense. The short story of it is that the Jedi believe that a Chosen One will come to destroy the Sith, yet at the time of them theorizing that Anakin Skywalker might be that Chosen One, they mentioned that the Sith have been extinct for a millennium, so they're searching for a Chosen One who's going to bring an end to the dark side Force users that have already been extinct for 1,000 years. Now, in recent years, it seemed to me like there's been a little bit of an effort to cover up the tracks of a lot of these missteps in storytelling that George Lucas made throughout the prequel trilogy. One common theme that I've seen through several members of the Lucasfilm story group and a lot of Star Wars podcasters and such is that throughout the prequel trilogy, and maybe even for a good while longer than that, the Jedi were wrong about just about everything. Basically that they let a lot of things get to their heads and completely failed to notice the total dark side takeover of the entire Galactic Republic happening right beneath their noses, among a handful of other things. And that sort of steers things back to this most recent episode of Star Wars Rebels. Spoilers, by the way, in case you didn't already see it, posted pretty much freaking everywhere. Anyway, Maul finally tracks down Obi-Wan, tells Obi-Wan that he's here to kill him, but then starts wondering, why did you come all the way here to hide? You're not here to hide, you're here to protect something or someone. Obi-Wan was calm before this. This comment gets him fired up. They fight very briefly, and Obi-Wan finally finishes what he started way back in The Phantom Menace, holds Maul in his arms while his old adversary literally dies in his arms, asking him if he's protecting the Chosen One. He asks Obi-Wan, "Is it the Chosen One?" And Obi-Wan says, "He is." So here we are with a major core element of the entire Star Wars storyline taking a major left turn, unless, just gonna throw out this idea, maybe Obi-Wan is wrong about who the Chosen One is. After all, he has been wrong before on this one. Unless, of course, you go back to what I mentioned earlier about this entire idea of such a Chosen One being much more fluid rather than something that stays with a person for their entire life. Anyway, the main point being that currently now, within the official Star Wars canon, Luke Skywalker is the Chosen One, as opposed to Anakin Skywalker, long believed to be said Chosen One. And I always felt like all along, Luke deserved more of the credit. He's the guy that stayed on the good side and really persuaded Anakin back to the good. Granted, Anakin was the one that finished off Palpatine, but come on, Luke did the heavy lifting and he took those lightning bolts, man. That shit. Anyway, this whole thing was a major twist within the whole Star Wars universe, and I'm interested to see what exactly they do with it here. A part of me kind of wonders if they're just trying to somewhat diminish the quality of this entire idea of being a Chosen One, because a lot of people have been so hyper-focused on there needing to be a Chosen One. And if the idea is that Anakin was never that Chosen One all along, that it eventually became Luke, and it could eventually be somebody else, people won't be so worried about thinking that Anakin maybe has to be reincarnated in the form of a 19-year-old girl that lives on Jakku, or something like that. I don't know. It also could mean that the entire entire idea of being the chosen one could mean that it's just a very naturally gifted Force user who aims to do good with that power for the Jedi, and hence why Obi-Wan is so dead set on protecting Luke, because he is their new hope to be that super powerful Jedi and eventually, eliminate the Sith and win that age-old war for the Jedi that they thought they'd won for 1,000 years anyway. But for now, that's just a handful of things I wanted to chime in with this pretty major turn in the entire Star Wars universe. I am curious to know what other people think about this. What do you think about the idea of Luke suddenly becoming the chosen one? At what age did he become that chosen one? Did Anakin literally stop being the chosen one once he assumed the role of Darth Vader in Revenge of the Sith? And who of the new cast, if anybody, is going to be the chosen one? I want to know your thoughts. I would love to hear your takes. It's been a while since we've had some good Star Wars banter in the comments, so let's do it this time around. And obviously, as is the case with pretty much every other video on this entire platform, be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you want more videos, but above all else, everybody, thank you so much for watching.